Here we go. Hey everybody, Animal Man here. Today I'm going to teach you a plant called Coltsfoot. Here it is right here. In earlier times, people would call this son before the father, and that's what the native people would call it. And it got that name because in the springtime, these flowers would look kind of like dandelions. They would come up before the leaves, which is reverse of what normal plants do. So, you know, colonists around here thought that there were two separate plants, but the native people knew from observing everything closely that this was the same plant. It just did things backwards, which is kind of cool. So it does look just like a dandelion, except it's got a central disc in the middle, and there's dandelions growing right next to it here too. They're like right next to the camera right there. This grows in disturbed soils, waste areas. We're on the side of a stream bank next to a pond right now, and this is one of the several spots that are around me in my state that this grows. It doesn't grow very commonly, but where you do find it, usually you find a big patch of it. So it likes to spread underground through the roots. So there's several edible medicinal parts to this plant, and what we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you the flowers and the small leaves, and that's what we're going to focus on, that you can eat raw or right off the ground right now. Here's a close-up of the plant, you guys. You can see those heart-shaped broad leaves, how it gets the name Coltsfoot, but you can see its size compared to my hand. Later in the season it'll be larger than my hand, and it will be about the size of a colt's real hoof. And those flowers, these here are all young flowers. They haven't totally opened up yet. There's some that are a little bit further along in their development. You can see how it's got that, focus dude, you can see the flowers got that central disc in the middle, so it's different than a dandelion. Here's a dandelion right here. You can see the difference. Very different looking, but superficially it resembles a dandelion, so people confuse the two. So here's the Coltsfoot flowers a little bit further on. These are getting ready to go to seed. Again, it looks kind of like dandelion flowers, but the leaves don't. And now look at these ones. These are starting to go to seed. Those are the seeds on top there coming off. So that's how to identify it. And right now we're going to go for the small flowers. So these right here, you can just pick them right off and they're edible. They taste kind of good. I mean, they're a little bitter, but they're tasty too. So you can pull it right off. Eat that raw if you want to. Here's the flower down the hatch. And they're not bad. They're tasty. Now let's go look at the leaves here. You can also go after the smallest leaves, and this one is only about the size of a quarter. And you can eat that raw right off the ground also. I would ingest these in small quantities because they do have alkaloids in them. They're mostly in the roots, but the rest of the plant does have it a little bit. So small quantities here and there, not a huge, whole meal just of this. So here's one of those leaves. The leaves aren't as tasty as the flowers. I prefer the flowers, to be honest.